Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with a whole nother hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. And if you're new to the program, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm your homie HerbMan. We're coming live from South Africa, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Please go somewhere and be notified when the HerbMan show comes on, because we teach people how to heal themselves. And you cannot heal yourself if you do not know thyself. So we teach you here about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. All right. So y'all know how this go, man. This is a free information station. All you got to do to pay attention here, all you got to do to pay for anything here is pay attention. And how we do that here is simply by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. I promise you it will be worth it. I will not waste your time while I'm on here, okay? I ain't wasting my own time, but we're going to get into the mood. We're going to get into the spirit and show you about what it is that we're talking about today. And once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get right there into the subject matter at hand. All right. So what we are understanding here on the HerbMan show is we're teaching people about the phenomenal aspects of your human experience. There are a lot of buttons in your spacesuit that you're just simply not pushing. And sometimes you're getting too stressed, you're getting too fearful, you're getting too frightened in certain points of your life to be able to get into the upper echelon of some of the power that you possess. Sometimes these spells, these words, these phrases, these traumas, these things that we think about get on us so much that it sticks us, it constricts us, it puts us in a state of shock to where we cannot go beyond that particular paradigm in order to solve that problem, to have a solution for what we got going on. And I'm going to show you today about an opportunity that you get presented when those things happen. It is an opportunity that gets presented to you. Okay, and we're going to show you that this whole thing of transfiguration, transformation, and enlightenment is one of the oldest paradigms on the planet. Okay, it's one of the oldest things on the planet. So when I show you about the owner's manual, which is what we're presenting to you, we don't believe that there's a product, there's a panacea, but there is a program. And the program is deprogramming you and reprogramming you with what God say about you, with what your true tendencies are, with what your true nature is. And once you get back in tune with how your true nature really operates, you'll see some of these space buttons. You'll see some of these buttons in your spacesuit that you never saw, that never illuminated to you before. Once you stretch yourself, once you get stretched in a way, that becomes an opportunity for you to dig a little bit deeper. And so now we're going to show you why the owner's manual is the best thing, because it illustrates to you the transformation. It illustrates to you the division of the mind and body. And then it also shows you how we can get it back into alignment. That is why this is the best nature-based intervention assessment that you can do for your health. I would rather go to somebody that got my owner's manual than to go to a doctor. Why? Unless I'm having surgery, broken bones, or needing an organ in or out, then that's the reason I go down there. But when I'm dealing with chronic conditions, that means cancer, that means immune system issues, autoimmunity, that means high blood pressure, diabetes, that means arthritis, that means a lot of all that really encompass most of what we're dealing with. Okay. And so you can eradicate that very easy within yourself. Your body produces medicines, which is what we've been teaching you. And so today we're going to just show you how this transformation, this ain't nothing new. I'm not showing you nothing new or presenting something to you new in a way that you can't divulge it. I'm really showing you that this is what they used back in the day to understand the understanding of transformation, of coming from one end of thought to the other end of thought, of maybe starting in facts, but then I ended up in faith, or maybe starting in flesh, but then I end up in my spiritual mind, maybe started in my carnality, but I ended up in my divinity. I may have started at a particular place, just like you started as a baby, but then you graduate to a elder. So these stages of growth, these stages of initiations are going to be opportunities that allow you to be able to transform. Okay, your life is giving you the opportunity to see it in one way and then in the other, but it wants you to do it while you are alive. You can't see it in with your five senses if you're gone. So the opportunity is, can you transform while you yet live? We know transformation and death and all of that's gonna be, but can you do it while you alive? Uh-huh. This is the real chess match. So the Bible talking about it, the Kabbalah talks about it, the Buddhists are talking about it, the gurus and the monks are talking about it. You got all of these different sects of people who are really trying to get you to understand the mind's journey, the transformation of the mind while being in the earthly experience. Okay, when you come into the earth, yeah, you don't know nothing, so you got to be taught things. That's intellect. But then it becomes a time where your intellect has reached its limitations, that the doctor can't figure it out, the machine can't figure it out, you can't figure it out, the parents can't figure it out, your wife can't figure it out, the kids can't figure it out. It comes a point to a time in all of our existence where there is a point of limitation. Now you can call it old age, or you can call it a death-defying disease, or you can call it being on the deathbed. But what I'm telling you is that sometimes these are opportunities to get you to transform while you yet live, not during the death sequence. Okay, so we want to promote transformation early on in the life experience of our beings and not wait on it later on. Death is not the transformation that you need to get into at the end of life. Death is something that you need to try in the interim of life. What I mean by that is you start to eradicate the things that you understanding that have a separation or enmity between you and what's really out here, between your world and the earth, between your reality and the reality, between your truth and the truth. You got to measure those things up, but you can't get lost in your world and your reality and your truth. You got to stand it up against something. Don't measure your world up against mine, because we both gonna be in trouble. Don't measure your truth up against my truth, because we both gonna be lying. Don't measure up your understanding against my understanding, because we both will be lost. But there is a standard. There is a standard. Now I'm finna show you something really quick here, because I got some receipts. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking, okay? Transformation. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Transformation is what the owner's manual is, okay? If you're interested in the owner's manual, please DM me. We'll get you this information. Transformation is what we are attempting to do for your situation, okay? And all three, most of these stuff is what we want. We want family, wealth, and health, okay? That's what we really want, okay? Transformation is the goal, the purpose here. Come in one way and then be able to transform in order to extend your particular paradigm here. Listen to what I just said right there, and I'm glad this on YouTube. Your purpose is to come in one way. Okay, that's fine that you came into the lower self. That's fine that you came into the lower consciousness. That's fine that you came into intellect. That's fine that you came into facts and all this type of stuff. But the transition is, can you go from facts to faith? Can you go from faith to divine intervention? Can you go from this lower self-dominance to sharing the space with this spiritual dominance, huh? Can you be able to transform your thinking? So you see that Jesus Christ came in, and he was Jesus Christ for a part of his life. And then once he came into the spiritual understanding, the gnosis, the inner knowing, he got transformed. And then from there on out, all you heard his name was Christ Jesus. So that whole name change is a transformation. Then he died for 3 days, and then he rose in transfiguration, transformation. Okay, so all we're looking at here is the dynamic of how we transform. Now watch this. I'm finna show you guys something. Okay, I'm finna show y'all something. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. If you got questions, please let me know. If you got questions, please let me know. I'm showing you that this is an ancient system that I'm promoting. It's ancient and it's also biblical. All right, take a look at here. Y'all can't see this on YouTube, but YouTube, I'm just showing them stories of the Bible. That's all. Showing them stories of the Bible. Now watch this now. You see that in the beginning, it's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges. You got Ruth. You got 2 Samuel, 2 Kings, right? Look at what they're talking about. You'll see that in the Old Testament, this is about man. This is about the Jesus Christ part of you. This is about the Lord self. This is about people. So you'll see that they talking about people. They're talking about Noah's Ark, Joseph's story. They're telling you about the Red Sea and Pharaoh. They're telling you about Moses. They'll tell you about Jericho, right? They'll tell you about Ruth. They're telling you about Solomon and Elijah. All right, these are people that they're telling you about. So they're telling you about the Lord self. This is the mind's journey through this particular thing. The Bible is about the mind's journey, you guys. It's about transformation. I want y'all to get this now. All right, now watch this. When it gets to Job's trials, right? I call it job because this is your job. This is where this lesson is going to be about transformation today. So you see that from Genesis all the way to Job, they were talking about people, the Lord self, the body, and the issues that we were getting into based on our intellectual understanding. The mind's journey. Creation is the mind, the creator creating, right? That's your mind. All right. And then you exited out of that particular state of being that higher consciousness. And then you came down into your lower consciousness, which is going to be Leviticus, the laws. So you got Genesis when I was in my highest consciousness. Exodus is when I left my highest consciousness. And Leviticus is when I came to my lower self and started to be inundated with man's law on what I conceive and perceive that this world should be about. Okay. And then you start seeing by man's law all of the things that were happening. But then when they got to Job, now here's the thing about Job. Now let me reduce this so my TikTokers can see. But here's the big thing about Job in this story. From Genesis to Job was a person that benefited from that man's intellect, from man's intellect in the Lord's self. If you want to say somebody was rich, if you want to say somebody was wealthy, if you want to say somebody was healthy, if you want to say somebody had family, it was Job. Okay. Job benefited from being here in his world, in the world. And he got a family, he got the wealth, and he got the health up under all of the rules and the laws that man had preceded. There was one man that was able to benefit by being righteous up under those man's laws. And so what happened is that he became he got hit with forces of resistance. Every now and then in our life, we can get hit with forces of resistance against our particular ideal of what our life should be, because you've been programmed to understand these things in a particular way. So then the force of resistance is what you call Satan or the enemy or disease. The force of resistance come into your life. You got a force of resistance coming into your life. You had some wants, needs, and desires, but then a force of resistance come into your life on those wants, needs, and desires. And then there's where suffering starts to happen. And so now you'll see that when suffering of his health, suffering of his wealth, suffering of his family got ripped away from him, that means when your ideal of life, when your ideal of the world get hit with some resistance. Steve Jobs was a great inventor, but then he got hit with some resistance. And it's at this moment that you get hit with resistance is where the transformation has an opportunity to take place. So it is in your disease where you can find this way into the veil. It is in this divorce. It is in this isolation. It is in this singleness where you can find divinity within. And then let me show you something. I'm gonna keep on going. Right now, watch up on the Job. After Job's trials and Job got transformed, every book since then is talking about the higher consciousness. So now every book since then ain't talking about people no more. It's talking about the transformation. So you'll see that man did all of that. Then he got it taken away. He met force of resistance. Then he was able to be obedient enough to his intuition. Okay. And so when the family and the friends were telling Job, oh girl, that cancer treatment ain't gonna work. Them herbs ain't gonna work. HerbMan don't know what he's talking about. all of this ain't a real story. So family and friends coming to Job is not real people. What that is when your mind started to go through rationalization. It's when your mind started to go through dogma. It's when your mind starts to go through that mental construct of trying to explain your suffering. Why did I get this cancer? How did I get this cancer? Oh, how did I get high blood pressure? Oh, I've been working out. How did I get autoimmune disease? Oh, I've been doing this. I've been going to the church all my life. Lord, how did I get cancer? Oh, I've been trying to work out all my life. How did I get cancer? Oh, I've been trying to do the right things and eat right. How did I get an autoimmune disease? So your mind, these friends and families are not real people, but they are structures, they're constructs of the mind that tries to explain why you got into the situation that you're in. That's what those family and friends represented. And then you'll see that after that, Job hollered and cried to God. That's what y'all do. You pray all day and you don't hear from God. Job went through the same thing where you get silence from God. But silence from God is an opportunity. It ain't no delay. It ain't no ignoring. It ain't nobody ain't there. Silence from the exterior God that you're praying for is an opportunity for you to seek God on the inner you. Silence for the God outside of you starts to open up a loud voice within. It's an opportunity for transformation. These things are opportunities for transformation. And you'll see that once the silence from outside God came, then the inner God, the whirlwind. If y'all don't know the Job story goes, then the whirlwind, when the whirlwind came with God's voice in it, ain't no whirlwind, ain't no tornado came with no God's voice. That consciousness finally breaks through the veil and begins to see on the other side to understand that, yes, everything is going to be okay. And that's the consciousness we're trying to get you into. And medications ain't doing this for you. The church, for some reason, ain't you still going to the doctor. So we know religion don't work when we see all y'all are standing in the hospital line. That's when we know that you still is relying on man. And we know grandmama, them 67 years old, been in church all their life and been to the doctor all their life too. Okay, so I got to understand where you are in this situation. Okay, but you'll see that when the whirlwind came and when the voice from within, because of the silence of God outside of you, I was able to get some inner peace. So when you're talking about the owner's manual, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you to go in you and conjugate up this feeling of the love of life again, of the love of understanding God's pattern for your life. But you got to know God's will for you. And so the owner's manual is showing you your spiritual tendencies and your physical tendencies, but it's also showing you the will for your life. So you can understand. Now watch this. I'm going to blow this up one more time. After Job, look at that. Job starts singing. See, and what we told you about when you're trying to create oxytocin, that's in singing and dancing. And so you'll see that after the transformation is when the praise come in. It's when the music and the dancing, that's Psalms. And then it's when the intuition kick in. That's Proverbs. Wisdom is intuition. And say after I get endowed with this transformation, this higher consciousness, then I can start prophesying. That's Isaiah. I can start prophesying like Jeremiah. I can start prophesying like Daniel. You see, after the transformation, I did a praise break. Then after I did my praise break, I got endowed with the enlightenment that was needed for my situation. And after I got endowed, I was able to start seeing things coming in the future. And that's what I'm trying to get you to connect with, so that when you get across the veil, you come back with the answers to your problems. And but you got to understand that then, all right? And so then after I'm able to be prophetic, look at that. After I'm able to be prophetic now it ain't nothing but stories about people seeing me in my spirit. Matthew saw me in my highest consciousness. Luke saw me in my highest consciousness. John saw me in my highest consciousness. And all these stories start to talk about the highest consciousness. You see, ain't talking about people no more, but it's talking about consciousness. The Holy Spirit in Acts is talking about Romans and justification by intuition, by faith. Then it talks about love, and we already know what that is. The freedom in Christ is the freedom in this intuitive highest consciousness. The armor of God is this consciousness. The joy in suffering. The joy in suffering is because you know that when you get suffering, this is my opportunity to get on over here and get through the veil. So it's the joy in suffering because suffering is the opportunity. Your suffering is the opportunity to transform your life. Your suffering is the opportunity to transform. Your suffering is the opportunity for you to transform yourself. Again, you got to understand the job. See? So it's okay that you came in intellectually attached to some form of wants, needs, and desires, to some classism, to some capitalism attached to your dreams. That's okay, because that's learned. That's under man's law. But if I rip it all away, because you got to understand that your consciousness will be tried by suffering. Your consciousness, where you really are, will be tried by suffering, by fire. And that fire is suffering. You may not get everything that you want in your world, because God has given you everything in his. So you have to be able to understand how to cross over into the veil to get what you need to bring it back to this world to heal yourself. And the owner's manual for a funky measly $50 is the thing that we are sharing with you as an opportunity for you to take your health into your own hands. Look, the medical facilities ain't doing nothing but just pushing nothing but medical technology in your bloodstream. Medical technology is the direct oppose of what we're teaching here. You are an organic being mixed in with a little spiritual, soulful thing, and also mixed in with some fleshly things. So every time that you consume something, it needs to have that same consistency. It needs to have a little soul and a little spirit in it, as well as a little flesh in it as well. And I ain't talking about meat. What we're talking about is you must understand things that are living, and fruits and vegetables are living just like animals. So you don't necessarily have to go and kill something to eat. You can just go and be able to understand the laws of nature, the law of reciprocity, the law of return, the law of correspondence. Mean when I pick you, I put the seed back into the ground to make sure we're still eating. And when I prick you, I appreciate you, and then be able to leave a little bit for a rainy day, because that is the law. That is the appreciation. That's the grace. The grace is I appreciate you for giving over your life for my eternity, and therefore I'm going to leave something in return back to you as a small gesture for your gesture and keeping me up and living. And so therefore that's how the abundance continue to go around. It comes return. You going in the grocery store getting tomatoes and that shit in the trash can. No law of return. So then why do you want to return? You're going into the store buying stuff that you know that you don't necessarily really need, and then you just throwing it in the trash. So where is your law of reciprocity? Well, if somebody give you something, won't you give them the same amount back? No. So you don't ask for something in your time. You got to go to, when you go back to your natural self, that is where the power lies. And this has been taught all over the world, but you can't see it because they got you under the microscope looking at the Bible, when you need to be on the eagle's eye view. You don't try to look for God in the microscope. You look at him in the eagle's eye view. So you got to back off that book and start looking around you to see God, not down into no white and black letters. See? So that's the program. So again, you will see that even through Job's atrocities, it was an opportunity for him to transform, for him to get greater. You was already the richest, a well-known brother in the world at that particular point anyway. So but then after you transform, you get everything back tenfold. What happened to Job is that he didn't have to die to see God. He didn't have to die to know God. He didn't have to die to believe in God. He didn't have to die. He might have had to suffer, but he don't have to die. So the suffering is you may not get what you want. I remember when I come up from the country, they say, boy, you ain't too old for your wants to hurt. So the suffering is you may not get what you want. And that's okay. You may not get what you desire. And that's okay, because what you want and desire and need in your mind may not necessarily be all the things that you think. They may be the very thing that kills you instead of heal you, because you don't know the will for your life. Now coming to the owner's manual, you get to be able to get that. Now let's keep it going. Watch this now. Watch this. I got one more receipt for y'all. I ain't gonna stay with you long today, but I definitely want to come strong. I like to bust you upside the head. Okay. The esoteric meanings. Listen at this. Okay. Job's wealth and family loss. A lot of you guys are looking for finances. A lot of you guys are looking for relationships. Okay. And you're not able. Loss doesn't mean that you had it and lost it. Lost means that you can't find it. Some of y'all can't find wealth. You ain't never had it to lose it, and you can't find it because it's still being lost. So some of y'all is got families lost and wealth lost because you just can't find it. You never had it. So you are in this category as well. But look at what they're saying. That's just the loss of outer attachments. It wasn't real people in the Bible. And that loss of outer attachments means sometimes your soul needs to get stripped of the material identity. That's now when you start to lose your attachments. Remember what we teach you guys here. Let me pull this down real quick. Y'all apologize to me. I'm going everywhere, but I got to get this lesson in because I may not teach this no more, but we're going to teach it today. All right. So now you understand that what we were talking about, right? So where is this higher consciousness? It's the seventh chakra. So the attachment issues, that's at the seventh level. We told you that this is the hardest level in trying to heal yourself. It's the hardest level in going to church. It's the hardest level of anybody looking for some spiritual enlightenment or anybody trying to transform. It's the attachments that hold you back. It's the attachments that hold you back. That family, you ain't gonna do no anything to lose your family. You ain't gonna do no anything to lose your wealth. You ain't gonna do no anything to lose your. So it is some of this stuff that'll hold you back. So what you got to understand is when you're ready to transform, when you're ready to elevate, when you're ready, sometimes you just got to go yourself. Because the owner's manual, this is what this is about. You can't fix your mama or daddy with this. You can only fix yourself. So this is you on the airplane. You got to put on your mask first before you put it on your baby, before you put it on your husband. You got to don your mask first. And so it's a concentration on the individual to get them into a more holistic state instead of trying to do it from a conglomerate standpoint. Focus on you. So the owner's manual with your birthday only pertains to you. If you're interested, DM me, we'll get you that. Customized, personalized to be a better word. Very personalized, okay? Very personalized. All right, let me pull this back up. You know, they messing with me, y'all, so they ain't gonna let me pull it back up. So let's go here. Let's do this again. Back up. I ain't playing with y'all TikTok. All right. What else happened to Job? Right. So now we know the wealth and the family. So now Job's health is destroyed. Now, this is what you coming to me for. Some of you guys' health is destroyed. Now, I know your wealth it ain't there and your family is in turmoil, but the real thing is the health is destroyed. Okay. Well, why? What's the meaning behind my health being destroyed? Body as a vessel can get tested. Okay. Spirit revealed beyond flesh. Again, these are opportunities. Okay. These are opportunities that you cannot lose sight of. So again, everything will get tried by fire to see who your real God is. Everything will get tried by fire. All your consciousness is going to get tried to see where you at. So again, if you're in your subconsciousness 90-some% of the time, and you in your dumb downness and you in your program state all this particular amount of time, you ain't gonna know when somebody pinching you. You ain't gonna know when you done drank too much, smoked too much. You ain't gonna know when you done went too far. You ain't gonna know because you're in your desensitization mode. You're in this particular numbness, and you just continue to go through life. You just continue to go through life. Let me open up something in here now. This thing getting hot as a chicken grease in here. So you're just going through life, right? That's what we're seeing. So we're just going through life. So this body being tested is to let you know the limitations of you intellectually. And if you ain't got some intuition in you to stop some of this stuff, you're going to run into a problem, right? So we'll test the body to see how strong the spirit is. That's what that means. We'll test your body, but it's just an opportunity to see how strong. The silence of God, right? We talked about that, the silence of God, okay? That's the initiation trial. Soul must awaken inner hearing. This is the gnosis. So once you stop looking outside with your facts and beliefs, then you'll start looking inwardly, and then that's the knowing. It's almost like, okay, if God don't answer me from external signs. So that's what you're looking for, signs, and you're looking for things outside. But then the moment is not calling for those types of ways for you to get it. The moment is calling for, can you hear me inside of you? Not try to look for me outside. Well, I told him if the phone rang at 4, then I knew. I said that my baby come here before I go down there, that I must not be meant to go. It said that if I told him if the bill come on the 30th, then I know that everything gonna be all right. But these are signs on the outside. But sometimes silence from God is an opportunity for you to start knowing your inner intuition, your inner knowing, your inner oracle. That's how we're going to get you over the hump. That's how we got to get you off these medications. That's how we got to get you out of these treatment centers. That's how we got to get you out of these defibrillators. And that's how we got to get you out of that deathbed and out of that couch. And that's how we got to get you back into this consciousness as young people looking for something to hold on to. They must teach the Bible better than what they're teaching, and you would know the truth. You would know the truth. And so you got to look at it. You got to look at it, man. Okay? Debate with friends. I told you that ain't nothing but reasonings. How your mind go through these reasonings and how dogma fails. Dogma is religion. It's your belief systems, okay? True wisdom comes only through direct experience. You must experience God yourself. You can't live through Jesus' experience with God. Okay? You must experience God yourself. You can't live forever. You can't live everlasting through Jesus' experience with God. How you get your everlasting life is you must do like Jesus does, but you can't just believe in Jesus and get in there. No. You got work to do. And this work to do is transform. You got work to do. The work is transformation. His life is transformation. Consciousness needs to transform. You go from subconsciousness and you transform to consciousness and run the rest of your way through your intuitive lenses. Okay? Through your intuitive lenses. And we're going to teach y'all how to do this. Everybody been talking about meditation and meditation and meditation. No, it's discernment. We're making this a hellacious event because our discernment is off. Intuition. Your basic instinct is not there anymore. The voice from the whirlwind. Okay? Look at that. The voice from the whirlwind is an encounter with the divine order. Somewhere in this particular balancing act, when we get you to balance yourselves out with the owner's manual, you're going to get this whirlwind of consciousness. You're going to hear the voice. See, they don't know how to teach this. So you end up looking at Job and being like, hell nah, how the hell Job hear from God and God got down script all everything from him. He still kept it belief. It's because of the way they teach it that it can't get in you. So you think that they talking about a man named Job when they trying to tell you about your goddamn job. Y'all in there thinking these folks talking about a man named Job when that story is about your goddamn job here on earth. You can't stay in intellect. Intellect has a time constraint. Intellect has depth at the end of it. It's intuition. So again, from Genesis to Job, that it shows you how you're living in this fleshly condition. And then yeah, you might get somewhere with it. And then the end of the day, that is not the right thing. So I brought suffering. I brought a trial in of your world. You think your world is everything? You think you the real God? I'll give you cancer. If you're a goddess, can you beat it? If you're a god, like you say you is, black man, white man, whoever you man you is, you're claiming all these names. Why you can't beat these little measly things? See, I'll try your ass by fire. Oh, you say this relationship is sent by God? Okay. Look, bring on suffering. Let's bring on some suffering. Okay. If you saying that your wealth is a God thing? Okay. We reloaded. Let me bring on some trial. Okay, and then we'll see, can you keep your wealth? So you must understand the paradigm. You're not talking about a man named Job. It's talking about your job is to transform. And you'll see that after the story of Job, now you're talking about enlightened states of consciousness. Okay? Let me keep going. I just showed y'all them Bible stories because you ain't never seen it that way, to see that shit is talking about transition. Restoration is at the end of the day the thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to get our health restored. We want to get our wealth restored. We want to get our original framework. We're going to get our original way that we manual is giving us this opportunity. Restoration is an alchemical rebirth. That means that this thing is not for us to be able to do. This is when your ego get dissolved and your soul expanded into divine consciousness, right? That's the whole story about all of this stuff, right? That's what everybody's talking about. That's what the Buddhists and the monks, and that's what the gurus, and that's what Jesus, and that's what Muhammad, and that's what the Islam and Judaism and Buddhism. That's everybody is trying to get us to this higher state of consciousness. Right, but it's the sustenance, is how we sustain. Okay, and so the thing is that it's not being articulated properly, because when you leave these higher learning institutions and you go back to your regular life, you're not able to conjugate up the power that you're learning to resolve your issue. There's so many people going to church that are living under the poverty line and think that that's okay, that God is into that, and that's not true. There's so many people going to these high learning institutions, which we call religious institutions, that are going to hospitals, that are diseased. There are millions of people going to these religious institutions that are suffering from diseases and can't use what they're learning to eradicate it. They can pray all day, they praising all day, they reading all day, they humming over and they bowing down all day, they consecrated, they crying all day, they fasting, they doing everything all day, but the disease is hanging on. Why? Because you're not articulate for you to be able to illustrate to you how you get into it. How you get into it ain't with all that noise in the church. How you get into it ain't with all that singing in the church. You do that afterwards. We don't need you to praise. We need you to concentrate and focus. We need you to be still and be quiet. I need for you to be able to hear your heart beating, hear your breath, and I need for you to be able to tune inward. That way I'm going to close your ears and I'm going to close your eyes. I don't want your five senses to work in order for you to be able to get to this inner peace, because when you're dead, your five senses won't work, and that's what you're going to get to your inner peace then. So I told you that you can die during life. You ain't got to die during death. Keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Wait. All right. Y'all get this now? This is a particular programming. This is a program, how you program your body, how you can program your body to endure in this particular thing. And it's not about enduring capitalism. It's about getting into this higher consciousness to where you're able to change capitalism, seeing that it doesn't benefit the human experience. It's not about doing this so that you can get some money. This is about doing it to understand that money is not your God. Money is not God, and money is not the definitive transaction tender. It's me giving my time over to you. Time is the currency, not money. If I come to you and I'm willing to cut your grass, I gave you time. That's way better than money. And then in return, you give me some time, and then you go down there and do something for me. I need you, not your money. If you give me you, I wouldn't need money to go pay for somebody else to help me. So it is this community, and it's this bonding, and it's this synergy between us that can create a particular transaction, a particular bargaining that we can do. If you got a skill and I got a skill, then that's an even deal. For a skill. You need no. So consciousness is being able to come into this thing and then change the world to incubate, change the environment to incubate how you're mutating and transforming into this greater demanding, expanding cell. This greater demanding, expanding human experience, this greater demanding and expanding consciousness that needs an environment that's going to incubate its particular evolution. We done got over this stuff now. So you're about to find out that people don't care nothing about money no more. Then what you going to do? When folks really understand that this ain't their design, everybody can decide not to go clock in. Okay? Now what you going to do? You can't do nothing with the trees. So if the trees is bearing fruit, folks gonna eat. So you're about to get in trouble if you don't have something to once you take the pacifier out your mouth, you got to have something to go back into the baby's mouth. So once I deprogram you, you must replace it with the right program immediately. Because to have a docile particular person out here with no higher consciousness or lower consciousness is just a zombie, right? That's another subconsciousness person. So we want to take the pacifier out, boom, and put the bottle in and say, this is your original design. Now, what do you do with it is you create the environment that incubates your health forever, that incubates your wealth forever, that incubates your community forever. And then you forever stay into this realm. You see, he lost it in intellect. He lost it because intellect, that side, that lower self, there's a time limit on that. But when he got it back tenfold of what he had, more children, more money, and better health. Ain't that's what you want? So instead of trying to go and copy a book from another man's riches, let me show you how to get it within you. Instead of you going to somebody's book trying to copy another man's journey about health, let me put your life into your own hands and show you what you need from your health. Instead of you looking at magazines and movies trying to imitate how your family needs to be, let me show you what family really is. And I'm learning that right now today, understanding the difference between America and Africa as far as family and community. That's a lesson I'm learning. In America, I've been individual. I've been by my goddamn self ever since I was born. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing but me and Mama Deuce. It was all it was. And so my point to you is that I didn't see a whole bunch of community. Hell, I still don't know my neighbors in America. But I understand here that if the lights go out, if there's a problem, if your children need help, your next door neighbor do it for you. If you need help, your next door neighbor come through. And they ain't got as much money as all y'all over there in America, but they got more community. And so you start to learn things differently if you get in different places, and you'll see the value of belonging to something and what that does for you. How that makes you feel to belong to a community, knowing that you ain't gonna be sick by yourself, knowing that you ain't gonna grow old by yourself, knowing that you ain't gonna be sitting over in the house by yourself. That people gonna come see about you, take care of you, be there for you, show you the love, and want your love back. Keeps you working, keeps you going, and keeps that oxytocin keeping you alive. And so you'll see the same thing with wealth. Wealth ain't about all the money. Wealth is just about comfortability. Wealthy ain't nothing but another word for comfortable. Everybody's number for comfortable is different. My number is $2.5 million. So if you guys get that, understand that's going to keep me comfortable, okay? So I ain't going to be richer than a motherfucker with $2.5 million, but I ain't going to be the poorest person with $2.5 million. But what $2.5 million will give me is comfortability at my level, at where I'm at. That's it. So wealth is comfortability. And everybody's comfortability is anywhere. A person can live comfortable with $40,000. That person would be wealthy. If their life is in a particular situation where 40 is everything they need, they wealthy. They can go anywhere you go at any given time. Because they living might be $100, but they bringing in $40,000. So they capping way more in the bank. They can do anything they want to do too, but they might not want to do anything. They just want to do what they want to do. And that's comfortability. That's wealth. Change your perspective about this stuff, you guys. Health. Health is an everlasting thing. Remember that when you guys get stripped away of all this stuff, there's still some undying, there's still some undying thing within you. When you guys get stripped all of all this stuff, right? There's still something in you called your soul's essence. Your soul essence never dies. And guess what? Your cells never die as well. And so what you got to do is understand that the environment creates the death, but the cell is built for everlasting. Your programming is built for everlasting. But when you're in your subconscious state, you are interfering with the original program. Your souls is built. Your cells is built to go forever because we're under an everlasting construct. This is infinity. If you can't see that sign, that's infinity. But really, this ain't nothing but the ecliptic of the sun. This is the sun's pattern as the earth orbits the sun. That's all this is. But you see the cross in here. You got the 12 zodiacs. You got the cell salts in here. You got the life lessons in here. You got the life path in here. You got numerology, astrology, cosmology. You got medicine in here. You got herbs in this motherfucker. You got the yin and yang in here. You got a Tibetan medicine in here. You got the native medicine wheel in here. You got the shamanism in here. You got the sangomas all in here. You got the Condurangas down in South America in here, in Mexico. You got everybody, everything is in here. Let me find you and let us put the pieces of the puzzle back together again for you. If you are interested in your owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you the information that you need. So you'll see, and I'm illustrating this because people don't believe that I stay in the constructs of what I've been taught. I stay in the construct, but I've figured out another way to understand it, another way to get this thing articulated, another way for us to get it to seep into us. What is it that they're telling us to do? They're telling you that there is times in this paradigm that if you don't know how to transform, then the body will leave from expiration. So it is the transformation that allows you to be more intuitive, meaning that you'll be more discerning. You'll be less mistakes being made, less damage, self-harm being made to yourself because you have this discernment and intuition. Now, this will extend your life. And if you know how to share this space with your consciousness, your high consciousness, instead of it being 95-5 or 90-10, then you got to be able to make this thing 50-50. That's in the long run. But in order for you to heal yourself, all you got to know how to do is get into this state of stillness, peace, love, get into this state of understanding, this state of contentment, and you'll start seeing all of your juices start to flow. In those juices, mixed with the right herbs, mixed with the right foods, you'll start to eradicate your problem a whole lot quicker, whole lot sooner, whole lot faster, and you'll feel a whole lot better doing it than you could ever do on medications, okay? Any questions thus far? Ship said, I'm a real fan of yours now. I'll be following you. Yes, sir. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the love, you guys. We come on every day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? All right. So all I'm trying to show people is that that's what they've been teaching us. You might not want to read the Kabbalah, but it's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not want to read the Buddhist or the Hinduist text, but it's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not want to read the Torah, but it's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not want to read the Quran, but it's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not want to do astrology, but it's still in your body. It's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not want to do a psychology. That's okay. It's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not want to be on this esoteric shit. That's fine. It's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not believe in all this stuff. That's fine. It's still in your Bible. Yeah, you might not. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is we all mankind at some point has started to understand the power of the mind. We realize that the mind ain't the brain. And so we started writing documentaries of the mind's journey through the human experience. We started writing documentations of the mind's journey through the human experience. And that's what those literatures are about. They are spiritual understandings about the mind's journey through this human experience. It is about the mind's journey through this human experience. Actually, Job is actually the definitive story about the differentiation between the spirit and the body, the mind and the body, the spirit and the matter. Hey, what's on there? So that story in itself is about this disconnect. Okay, it's about this disconnect. Job is about how the spirit and the body can be disconnected, and how you have to transform from this lower self into this higher consciousness in order to receive everything that you need, but from an understanding of suffering. So this suffering, you can do it yourself, or well, we always do it ourselves, okay? But you can do it intentionally to go ahead and get into this thing, or you can wait till it happens. It don't really matter. It's about what is that suffering doing. What is that suffering doing? It's presenting you an opportunity to transform your life. But you can't go outward. You always go outward. Every problem you got, you always calling somebody. I always need somebody's opinion. I always needing to go and hear what the pastor said and what the doctor said and what your cousin them think about it and what your friend them think. You always need somebody. You need your boyfriend's opinion about it, and you need your children's. You always go outside of you every time you get hit with a problem about yourself. When you gonna start going with you? What's your opinion about how you heal yourself? Forget the doctor. What's your opinion about how you get rich? Forget the bank. What's your opinion about how you get into this relationship? Forget your friends. Though. When you gonna come up with a solution for you? And I'm not saying that people are not valuable to relevant and to be able to help you, but what I'm saying is, at what point do you understand that your answers lie within you? And somebody will give you their rendition of what they would do in your situation, but they ain't in your situation. Somebody's telling you about what they recommend you take because they ain't in your situation. Somebody's telling you about what they recommend. That's all these things are, recommendations. But what do you recommend for yourself? It's time to get those answers from in here, not out here. So we want to silence you. Okay? We want to silence the noise. We want to cut off the TV, cut off the radio. We want to cut off the talking. We want to cut off the sounds. We want to cut off the social media, the YouTube. We want to cut off the sounds. We want to silence you and make you still. And then we want to force you to make your senses, because your five senses are going to always work. Okay? But we're going to internalize it. And when you close your eyes, now you're looking inward. When you close your ears, now you're hearing inwardly. And then that's going to help us. You'll start seeing tears flow. You start seeing you shake. You start seeing you breathing, and you start seeing you sobbing like a baby. That's what we need. Surrender. Let it go so that you can heal yourself. I didn't want to make this video long today. I wanted to make it strong, you guys. I love you guys, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please, if you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM us. Let us get this stuff in your hands so that we can continue to teach while all y'all got your owner's manual. That way, when I'm on here, you got your stuff and you're learning yourself. Because for you to just get on here and try to figure out what I'm talking about and you ain't got your manual with you, you're not learning. You're learning what I'm teaching people, but you're not learning about yourself. And that's what you like to do. Look at other folk inwardly. Get your owner's manual. Let me teach y'all every day how to know thyself. All right? Any questions thus far? Let me get up out of here. You guys, I love you. Any questions? I've been crying doing meditation lately as I release the things and people that have hurt me. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Release, surrender. Surrender, release, surrender. Release, surrender. What do I need to send you? A DM. Okay, you DM me on this particular app and we will get you the information that you need. Look, it's only a funky measly $50 for you to put your health back into your own hands, for you to get back into balance. I'm always going to be here for you. I know some of you guys are having a hard time reaching me, but you can email me and you can call me on WhatsApp as long as I'm in South Africa, okay? You call me on, you save my contact, you call me on WhatsApp, and I will walk you through your owner's manual. Can you just order the owner's manual online? Yes, you can go to my website, type in email, and then it's going to pop up, because the owner's manual, it comes in email format. It's not a book, but it is the book on you. Okay. But it comes in an email format. You can transfer it from that email, laminate it, put it with your birth certificate, put it with your marriage license, put it with your important paper, because you might not be sick now, but you may need it later. But this is an ongoing thing of people asking me, how do I get into my higher consciousness? How do I transform, transfigure? How do I get enlightened? How do I get to this higher consciousness? You must start to go deeper into yourself. The only problems I got right now are people who just are not understanding the process. Once you get the process down pat, we all on the same page. You got to do it too, just like everybody else. Contact information is in the link. Okay, contact information is in the link, or all you got to do is just DM me. You guys, it's very easy to DM me. You'll be talking to me. Okay, I don't have no liaison. I ain't got no secretary or nothing like that. So you email me, you'll be talking to me. And I know I got some fake pages up here, you guys. I don't reach out to now one of y'all. Y'all ain't gonna ever see me. I will never call y'all phone. I know y'all be telling me to call your number and tell me to call you. I will never call you. McDonald's ain't gonna call you either. Okay, so you gotta call me, and then we'll put things in order for you. So you ain't never got to worry about that. HerbMan don't call folks. Okay, so if somebody's reaching out to you via email about this and that, somebody's trying to scam you. Is one and only, baby. All right. Anything else? Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys' time, man. I didn't want to hold you long. I did want to make this strong. Please, again, if you're interested in the owner's manual, I'll get you what you need. Transformation is at the core of what we believe, that we are teaching the right thing at the right time. We believe that we're teaching this at the right time. The youth is looking for how to do this. And again, smoking trees and all of that. Yes, it's an illegal entrance into this spiritual world, but you can't stay there. It's non-sustainable until you learn how to do it yourself. Get into your own natural high. Again, I told you guys about the endocannabinoid system, the opioid receptors, the runner's high. You can do this yourself without smoking nothing, my homie. Okay, drinking, all this type of stuff. But the only thing is that you got to create an environment to do it. It ain't like you can just be happy all of a goddamn sudden and you got all these problems in your life. So you got to create the environment for everlasting life. You got to create the environment for you to live longer than 60, 70, 80 years. You got to look around you and see that everything around you is creating the stress, causing the death. So you got to create an environment around you for everlasting life. Your kitchen got to promote everlasting life. Your family structure got to promote everlasting life. Everything inside your house, everything around you when you leave out, it has to promote everlasting life. You got to change the environment. And so what we're going to do when we give you your owner's manual is that we're going to change the environment. We're going to put you at peace, put you back in calmness, put you back in contentment. Because once you start getting information based on your birthday, you'll ask me, how in the hell you know all this stuff? Well, I don't know nothing because I don't know you. But that's a tall tale indicator that nature, cosmology, the cosmos, the cosmic energy, the highest conscious on the planet knows you by name. It knows you by birthday. You ain't making no mistakes in God's eyes. You're only making mistakes in yours because you don't know the will for your life. You don't have good discernment, so you can't tell the future. You can't see. You just need to peek in it a little bit. You peek in a little bit to see what we need to know. Bring it back. Let us know how to put it into play in your life. What is the things that are missing to get you from where you at to where you want to be? And if you intellectually can't come up with the answer right now, then we can't keep asking you the same question because you don't know. So we got to tap into something in you that can bring the knowing in. That means we got to internalize and we got to go inward. Okay? I'm not going to give you the answer. The answer is within you. A lot of y'all think that I know the answer for your life because I gave y'all this information. No, it's not about that. This is about you knowing the answers for your life. I am teaching you how to heal yourself. I'm teaching you how to fish so that you don't always go down into that hospital. You learn how to take care of yourself. You don't have to always depend on the church. You learn how to deal with your own emotions and spiritual things. You don't always got to go down there to that therapist or psychologist if you understand your tendencies. And the owner's manual will do that for you, okay? Love you guys, man. Wendy, come on and get him on out of here, man. We appreciate you guys. My son has something again today. I'm gonna let him do his thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what he said. I don't know. He just go back there and start writing. I said, all right, cool. I'm gonna let you do what you got to do. But as you hear him for the first time, as I'm gonna hear it for the first time, we'll start seeing the conditioning of the heart. Brother got a good heart. Welcome you guys, DJ Wanley. Go ahead and keep tapping the screen. Wanley, once they get to 50K, then you start reading. Do not read until you see 50K. Okay? Do not read until you see 50K. Y'all keep tapping that screen. You guys get us up to 50K so Wanley can take us on out for the day. All right, Wanley gonna do the benediction. Get on there, stay in front of the screen. I don't need to hide. Stay in front of that screen. Huh? All right. When they get to 50K, you're gonna do your thing. Okay. Yes, so encourage your children, man. Encourage your children. Men, be men in front of your children. Women, Be women in front of your children. Encourage your children. Make sure that they understand exactly what you're trying to do, and give them an opportunity to work for the family. Family is business, okay? Family is the business, okay? Employ your children. And I don't mean employ them like they're doing down there at no labor, but you employ your children, which means you make them relevant to the family. They got jobs to do too. This is the supervisor, and he got a worker over here. Worker, come here. Come here, worker. Come here. And so this is Wanley employee. Y'all can't see him. Hold on, y'all can't see him, but this is Wanley employee. So he the supervisor of this young man, right? And then we got the CEOs and the presidents is the parents. So you make everybody be relevant to the family. He know he got a job to do. He know he got a job to do to keep the family going. And that's all of us working together. Hell, I ain't never had this, but I got it now. So I understand the difference in it. Okay? I understand the difference in it, man. So it's very important. Once we get to 50K, when they gonna take us out, go ahead and want to do it. Booster, tell us, say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Who's ready for the speech?
Yo, go ahead.
Say me if you're ready. I'm gonna wait for them to say me if they're ready.
You gotta talk to them and tell them.
His time is 51K now.
Okay, go. Read it. They say they ready. Yeah, they said me. They ready. Go ahead.
In life, kids think it's easy. I learned life is not easy. House bills and water bills are very hard to pay. Some people live in the streets because they have no money to pay bills. For coming up, I will give you my birthday. Y'all, it's the 2nd of January, first month, 2017.
Why you giving them your birthday for that? I'm not doing none of this stuff.
And rate this drawing.
He said rate his drawing from 1 to 10. Yes, sir.
From 0 to 10 rated.
There you go. You want to give him the sign now and say,
hello,
what's your sign off? Yeah, do you have a sign off? You know, I say I love you guys. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peace. What's yours?
Peace. Daddy, look. Wait, I saw. Why are these? Wait.
Yeah, man, you can't be looking at all that, but these folks are saying anything gonna come in. Don't worry about it. All right, but they gave you thousands, man. They gave you 8s, 9s, 10s. They gave you 144,000. That's a 9. So you good to go. All right. Hey, man, look, man, I appreciate all of you guys, man. I'm inviting you into my home. I appreciate you guys. I'm doing this for the love of you. I love you guys, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I really, really mean that. And that's why we have a company called HerbMan.com. HerbMan Inc. is the brand. We're not trying to change your belief systems at all. We're trying to heal you. That's it. Until next time. Peace. Woosay! My homie.